Am I the asshole for having my niece's dress photoshopped because she wore white to my wedding? So I got married. Honestly, it was my dream wedding. Everything went off without a hitch. Except for one small thing, my niece's dress. It was a white, lacy knee-length dress. She even wore lace elbow-length gloves. Honestly, it looked just like a wedding dress. I didn't say anything to her or her parents, my brother and Sil in the moment, and I tried my best to ignore it. But when I got the first drafts back from our photographer, I couldn't stand when I saw her in her white dress standing next to me. My husband saw how upset I was, and suggested that we pay extra to get my niece's dress photoshopped to a light blue. We thought it through, and since we had some budget left, we went for it. Well, last week, we got the final photos back and they looked great. I could hardly even tell that my niece was originally wearing white, and she still looked really nice. I posted some of the photos on social media, and my Sil messaged me and was angry that I photoshopped my niece without checking with her, my Sil first. She accused me of thinking my niece was ugly and of body shaming her. To be clear, I did not have her body photoshopped, only the color of her dress and gloves. I don't think I'm in the wrong, but this situation has been stressing me out, so am I the asshole? Edit small clarification: the picture I posted was a large group shot that my niece is in. I wasn't trying to showcase the Photoshop at all. Not the asshole. They were wrong to have her wearing white to a wedding to begin with. Instead of getting mad and making a scene, you and your husband used logic and technology to fix the problem in the photos. Great thinking. My spidey sense says the white dress was a deliberate affront, and when you finessed around it they got more combative and made up a grievance. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. If she didn't want the dress to be photoshopped, she shouldn't have let her daughter attend a wedding in a lacy white dress. The nerve of that woman. Not the asshole, and your Sil isn't stupid. She knows why the dress color was photoshopped. Does your Sil dislike you? It is the only reason I could think of why she wouldn't have told her daughter to change dress color. Everyone knows only the bride wears white to a wedding. Not the asshole. Proper response to Sil: why would you think it was acceptable to allow your daughter to wear something resembling a wedding dress to my wedding? Not the asshole. She wore white to your wedding. How thick-skulled do you have to be? And no one corrected her before arriving. That's insane. I would have made her leave and change. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You didn't change your niece's body or face, you just switched the color slightly to make it less obvious she'd worn white to a wedding. Her parents should have known it was unsuitable. Not the asshole. Funny, your Sil thinks you should have checked with her about photoshopping the dress, but she didn't check with you about allowing her daughter to wear white to a wedding when she is not the bride. Not the asshole. There is no way that out of the three of them, brother, Sil, niece, none of them thought it would be rude and a faux pas for your niece to wear a lacy white dress. Come on, this is like wedding 101. Not the asshole, and your Sil knows perfectly well why you had the color changed. She can't argue against that, so she's come up with the ridiculous body-shaming BS. Wedding undermining. Thwarted high five raised open hand # not the asshole. Not the asshole. Isn't it a general rule of thumb that white is reserved for brides in Western countries? Not the asshole. Her parents should not have allowed her to wear white to the wedding. At 16 she may not have been aware of the rule, but her parents should have been. You're not the asshole, but you or another member of the family or wedding party should have addressed the issue on the wedding day. As long as your niece's body wasn't changed, just the dress color, I don't see the issue. Not the asshole. She is really reaching. I'd just say wearing white to a wedding is bad form. This was about two white dresses next to each other and nothing more. Not the asshole. I think it's the best way to handle it. You didn't make a bit fuss about it at your wedding, even though at 16 years old all of them should have known better. If it had been a small child I could see how that's a bit different, but that's not what happened here. Good for you to have the pictures adjusted. Maybe your SIL is baiting you. Do show the originals as proof so she has them after all. Not the asshole. Ask her what part of her body has been changed. I bet that won't be able to tell, it will just blatantly lie. Next thing, tell them they knew white should not be wore, so it's on them. Not the asshole. As a 16-year-old, I know to never wear white to a wedding, and even if she didn't, her parents should have known and told her to change. LOL. Am I the asshole? Has convinced me that the only good idea for a wedding is a quick courthouse ceremony, followed by a luxurious honeymoon paid for with all the money saved on the wedding. Add anyone beyond the bride, groom, an official, and you're asking for problems, rolling on the floor laughing. Not the asshole. And your SIL sounds like she's projecting her own insecurities here. Why would altering the color of the dress make it look to her as though your niece's body changed? Why would she think anyone thinks her daughter is ugly? Out of courtesy, she SIL shouldn't have encouraged wearing a white lacy dress in the first place. Anyway, it's your wedding and those photos are mementos meant more for you and your husband. You already finished the event without making a deal of the dress. A slight color change by the photographers shouldn't be a big deal. I'd cut your niece a break because I'm not sure I would have known this at 16. But OMG, your SIL totally did. What the hell? Not the asshole. Your wedding. Your money. Your pictures. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You didn't Photoshop the kid. You changed the dress that mom should have corrected before the event. Long lace. Not the asshole. It's a known thing that you don't wear white to a wedding unless the bride or groom says so. I have no clue why they are hurt by this. All that was changed was the color. No, not the asshole. You also spoke to your husband, it was his idea. SIL disrespected by letting her daughter wear white and should apologize. You are only being polite by changing color. Not cropping her out. What audacity your SIL has. Not the asshole. Also, your niece probably had no idea that her dress was inappropriate, but your SIL and brother definitely knew and should have asked her to change. Not the asshole. What is wrong with your SIL? How does she not know? Heck, I was worried to wear a cream shrug with my dress to a wedding. How is changing of her dress's color body shaming? IGLF, you're paid to make her thinner, yes you're the A. But dressing up as a bride? Who wears white globes at a wedding? The bride. The bride only, maybe not if someone died and the people getting rid of the corpse came in, I guess. Not the asshole. Having the photos edited to change the color of the dress was the least possible reaction you could have taken. You could have had her edited out of all of the pictures completely. Something should have been said to your brother though, not your niece or SIL, on the day of the wedding, letting him know that it was 100% inappropriate for your niece to wear white to a wedding when she isn't the bride and white was not a color option for guests. Good God. Reading some of these replies proves that the human race is doomed. You're all childish. Op is an AH. All of you sound ridiculous, honestly. Not the asshole, they knew what they were doing, props to you for not making a scene and just sorting it quietly. Absolutely not the asshole. You didn't body shame her by changing the color of her dress. Your SIL should know it's tacky to wear a white dress to a wedding unless you're the bride and told her daughter to wear something else. Not the asshole, it's one frickin' color you don't wear to a wedding and some asshat always thinks it doesn't apply to them. Your SIL is trying to project this on you by putting words in your mouth about body shaming. I would let her know that you didn't want to ruin the day by making a scene, but it was not okay for your niece to wear white as her mother SIL should have told her to wear something different. That doesn't mean you have to see that BS every time you looked at your wedding photos. If SIL doesn't like it, she can pay money to Photoshop it back for her own reference.